In this session, I would like to interact with you on two very important uh, aspects when it comes to research. Carrying out research is one aspect of research. On the other, publishing the results of research in the form of articles in journals, particularly, and making your research visible and establishing your footprints online on several platforms is equally important these days. As you may be aware, the funding agencies and the accreditation bodies and the norm setting agencies such as UGC expects all of us to be active in research, also be active in publishing. So once we publish articles, it is imperative that we must make our research visible. So for this, it is important to know about research visibility platforms, and academic identity, and various services on the World Wide Web, which help you establish your academic and scholarly identity. So I'll give you an outline of my presentation. In my presentation, I will be covering a few aspects of research visibility and impact. And a major part of my presentation will be focusing on the various metrics that we use to measure the impact of research, including the sources for selection of journals. Some of us may need some orientation as to how to select journals in a particular subject for submitting articles. So I will be divulging the details of a few sources which you may use for selecting the journals in your respective subjects. And lastly, I will take up the various academic identity platforms, why academic identity is important these days. So let's start with research visibility and impact. There are two aspects which I have combined here. One is research visibility and research impact. Before I move on to research visibility, let me touch upon two important words that we often come across in scholarly world. One is research productivity and the other is research impact. Are they one and the same, or are they different, is the first step of learning about them. Research productivity is often considered as a quantitative measure of an author's, particularly an author's research. So it's a quantitative measure which is done in terms of the counts of publication. So in simple words, I can say that research productivity refers to the number of publications made by an author. So in that sense, an author who has published more number of articles is more productive than an author who has published lesser number of articles. This is perceived as research productivity in its simplest form. Research impact, on the other hand, reflects the utility or the usefulness of the publications or the research made by an author. So I can say research impact, although quantitative, it is a quantitative expression of a qualitative phenomenon. So when I say qualitative phenomenon, how useful are the contents of the publications made by an author to other authors, to the society in general. So research impact, as you may have understood by now, holds a special place in the scholarly world. Many funding agencies base their funding on the research impact of an author or an applicant. Therefore, it is important for any researcher, any teacher, any author to have an understanding of both research productivity and research impact. Generally, in bibliometrics meaning the quantitative study of the publications. In bibliometrics, research productivity and research impact both occupy important place. So I hope by now, in its superficial level, you might have understood the difference between research productivity and research impact. So citation counts, or the number of citations earned by an author for his or her publications, is a key for measuring the impact of an author's research. While the number can be easily counted, the citations earned by an author on his or her publications is a challenging task. So counting it is a challenge. There are services on the World Wide Web which do this. Therefore, these services are also important. And knowing about these services is important for any researcher in modern times. Let's move on to an example. Why citations are important and what exactly happens in all these citation tracking services. Let me take up this profile from Google Scholar. This is the profile of Dr. B.T. Sampath Kumar, who happens to be my guide and my colleague in the department. So as you can see, Google Scholar gives certain metrics, which includes the number of citations throughout the publication life of an author as indexed by Google Scholar and in the past 5 years. Also, H-index and I-10 index are given by Google Scholar. So in the next part, I will be explaining these metrics in detail along with examples. So if you take up one publication, if you may observe any publication here, we have cited by and the year of publication. The year of publication doesn't matter for our discussion, but the value that is given under the column cited by is important. So let's go ahead and take an example. I'll take the example of this article, Perception and Usage of E-Resources and the Internet by Indian Academics. This is published in a journal, The Electronic Library, in the year 2010. And the authors are B.T. Sampath Kumar and G.T. Kumar. And this is another article which is published in 2014, authored by Iqbal Butt and Mahesh V. Mudhol. Now, I'm going to point out this particular part where the authors of this paper have cited the earlier published article, Kumar and Kumar. So this becomes the cited article, Perception and Usage of E-Resources and the Internet by Indian Academics is the cited article. And this is the citing article. So I am giving the example of one such article in any given subject in the universe of knowledge. Let us say library and information science, or commerce, or economics, or education. In any given subject in the universe of knowledge, the sum total of all the scholarly publications which are made is called the scholarly literature in that particular subject. So cited literature and citing literature both are tracked by services such as Google Scholar. So over a period of time, the cited article here gets cited in a number of articles, and the number of citations increments. So the authors who have received or earned a citation in this case are B.T. Sampath Kumar and G.T. Kumar. And the authors who have attributed, who have dedicated, who have given the citation are Iqbal Butt and Mahesh V. Mudhol. So another point, important point I want to make here through this example. It is important for researchers to not only publish articles, but also inculcate the healthy habit of citing all the sources from where they have borrowed the information. So citing impacts other authors. Other authors cite you, that impacts your profile, your research. Therefore, citing plays a very important role in creating impact for others' research and getting impact for your research. So over a period of time, this article gets n number of citations. So the cumulation is done, tracing and cumulation is done by services such as Google Scholar. So the essence of this discussion is that citation is an important measure of research impact. In the scholarly world, it is believed that higher the number of citations received by an author for his or her research, higher is the impact of his or her research. Therefore, the impact of research directly is correlated with the number of citations. So, higher number of citations also indicate that more number of researchers have found a particular article useful, and therefore they have used that particular article in their publications and they have cited this article. So you may be surprised to know that citation is not only a tool to measure the research impact of an author, it is also a tool to measure the impact of an article as well as a journal. Therefore, the next concept which I'm going to discuss, that is research impact metrics, will involve these metrics: author level impact metrics, article level impact metrics, and journal level impact metrics.